Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Build-A-Figure. This is just a series where we get to explore the creative side of collecting, whether it's through custom head sculpts like we're looking at today, or outfit sets, body swaps, kit bashes, you name it. But most importantly, what we are here to do is build some figures. Now I have popped the various social links for the artists involved with these head sculpts in the description below. Essentially, what our goal is today is to upgrade all three Spidey figures from the No Way Home line. Starting off with the most egregious one first, being the amazing Spider-Man 2 figure. Essentially, what Hot Toys decided to do is just repaint the amazing Spider-Man 1 head sculpt. And while the paint apps are better, I'm not going to deny them that, the sculpt itself is so frickin' dated. And that's why so many customizers are making Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield head sculpts. There's just massive headroom for improvement. As you can see, this is done by V.Collectibles, aka Vince, painted by Rodman. And next to the Hot Toys one, it's a night and day difference, not just in terms of likeness, but also in terms of giving him the appropriate aged up look, the bigger, boofier hairstyle, and a lighter skin tone. I also wanted to go with a bit of a smirk, just to show that, he's a cocky Spider-Man. Now, it will just pop onto the Hot Toys neck piece, so when we have it on the body, the skin tone neck will still be present. It's not like we're going to be losing out on that. As for the detail, you've got some wrinkling for the forehead, tons of texture for the hair, 5 o'clock shadow down below, a couple of freckles and moles. For me personally, the eyes are the best part. They just breathe so much life into the sculpt. Rodman always hits the eyes with this little bright spot, so when the light bounces off the surface, the head sculpt just comes alive. I think maybe I've gushed enough about how good this head sculpt is and how much I like it. But now that we've installed it on the body, somehow I like it even more. This is everything I was hoping for from Hot Toys out of the box. But they didn't go this route. They didn't give us an accurate Andrew head sculpt. They reused the old one, unfortunately. Now, the sculpt itself is hollow, so that means you can adjust it up and down. I positioned it to where the chin is just subtly blocking the Adam's apple, and to me, proportionately, that looks about right. But if you do want to extend it up, or heck, even push it down a bit, totally doable. Now, it's not perfect. There is a bit of a skin tone mismatch between the sculpt and the neck piece. I decided to go lighter with the skin tone on the head, and that's why that's happened. Now, I can excuse it because he's got this 5 o'clock shadow around the base of the head sculpt. I reckon that helps it blend in, and from a distance, it just looks like there's a natural shadow being cast from his chin onto his skin tone neck. That's the best part about customs though. If you do want to perfectly match the skin tone between those two pieces, you can. Just send the darn neck to your painter and have them do that. Go slightly more tan with the skin tone. I decided to go lighter because that's more accurate to Andrew's actual skin tone. Now there is one other upgrade we're going to have to do with this next figure, which is Peter 1 aka Tom Holland in his integrated suit. It's not just the head sculpt this time, it's also the RCN round code cover neck skin, and yes, that is the actual name of this thing. When you pop it on the neck, it basically just gives him a skin tone neck, like the other two Spideys in this line. For some weird reason, the integrated suit is the only one that Hot Toys decided not to give a skin tone neck to. A really strange choice if you ask me, seeing as though the other two, like I said, have skin tone necks. You want the three Spideys to mesh well, right? Turns out Hot Toys don't think that's a massive issue. Now, this head sculpt isn't 100% necessary, because the stock head sculpt is quite good. It's just that we've seen it multiple times already. We got this with multiple figures in the Far From Home line, and also in the No Way Home line. It's good, but not quite as good as the custom one, in my opinion. If you prefer the stock Hot Toys sculpt, and you're going down to the comments to say, Justin, this one looks like Michael Jackson, nothing like Tom Holland, that's fine. Just know that I'm not really just gonna chuck this one in the trash and go back to the stock head sculpt now, am I? I bought this for a reason, and I think it looks really good. You don't have to agree with me, it's down to personal preference. Just be kind to the artists involved down in the comments below, because they are real people hand painting and hand creating these things. I wanted to go with a battle damage look this time. You can see the blood on the surface. He also has a bit of redness to his nose, and the little dangling pieces of hair sticking out from his forehead. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a mishap during shipping though. Around the back, as you can see, his head sculpt is shattered. And I was shattered when I opened the box. Luckily, V.Collectibles Vince did assure me that his resin is super sturdy, it shouldn't happen again, this was just a freak accident. But right now, at least it's around the back, so it's not going to be a massive issue when we install this on the body. Sometimes these things can happen with handmade pieces like this head sculpt. During shipping, Customs opens them up, and as we know, Customs is not overly careful with fragile items, so sometimes they break. From front on though, on the body, this head sculpt is bloody gorgeous. All the way round, I can see the likeness to Tom Holland. Just like that Andrew Garfield sculpt, now that I have it installed on the body, it is never coming off. This is the way I'm going to display him permanently in the collection. And then we get to the RCN round code cover neck skin. There's skin texture on it, and the skin tone match between the neck piece and the head is nigh on perfect. From a distance, this, to me, presents as though it's the real Tom Holland shrunk down to 1/6 scale. And the best part about the sculpt is, once again, the eyes. There is so much life to them. Adding that little bright spot down the bottom was a genius move by Rodman. Essentially what we've done in this video is gone from most egregious head sculpt being Andrew to the least egregious being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I genuinely like the stock Hot Toys head sculpt. It looks like Tobey Maguire to me. I still wanted to go custom because the other two were custom and you just can't beat the detail on hand-painted head sculpts like this, and I wanted everything to mesh and match well. This, once again, V.Collectibles and Rodman. I reckon this is the best out of the three though. The Tobey Maguire likeness, that smirk, the subtle wrinkling for the forehead, even the teeny tiny little dangling pieces of hair up the top for the fringe, how he blended the hairline in, the 5 o'clock shadow, and the life to the eyes. This head sculpt might just be one of my favourite Build-A-Figure sculpts yet. It is that impressive. Compared to the Hot Toys one, yes, there is a strong likeness on both. The eyes being so wide open on Hot Toys, now that we're comparing it to the custom, kinda makes him look like a deer in headlights. I don't want to bash the stock one, I still like it. For me personally, I've got to go with the custom. Okay, so you know how I just said that the stock head sculpt for Tobey was the least egregious of the three? I might have to walk back on that, because now that I've installed the custom head sculpt on the body, this is my favourite of the bunch. I don't know what to tell you, it's just a huge upgrade. Now you can adjust the head sculpt up and down, so if you do want to have it looking like he has a slightly longer and skinnier neck as he did out of the box, that is doable. For me personally, I'm just going to push it down to make him look slightly more in proportion, and therefore bigger and bulkier. You can just mess around with it and find the perfect height for you. The likeness is better, the detail is a massive improvement with the 5 o'clock shadow and the little freckles and moles, and then we have the eyes. There is so much life there. That expression with the smirk at the right angle, it just screams Tobey Maguire. Wrapping up on another episode of Build-A-Figure. This episode in particular has cemented it for me. This is now my new favourite series on the channel. And the custom pieces that have come out of these episodes in the Build-A-Figure series are now some of my favourites in the collection. So that's why I keep doing this series. Even though sometimes people aren't super kind in the comments, that's okay. I love the figures that we're creating here, and I know a lot of y'all do as well. Customizing is just super underappreciated and underexplored in 1/6 scale collecting. As new collectors start to mature and become established collectors, that's usually when they make the jump to customs. You get sick of seeing the same old Spidey figures in everyone's collection over and over and over again. You want to mix things up, you want to put your own stamp on the figures in your display. And customizing, that's the best way to do it. There are so many insanely talented artists out there that can help you along the way. They can make you head sculpts, they can give you pointers on what to change and what not to. I try to highlight a couple of them in my Build-A-Figure series, and I plan to keep on doing that going forward as this series does continue, because I do have plans for Build-A-Figure going forward. I just want to say this one more time, if you do not like the head sculpts in this video, That's perfectly fine. It's not for you, it's not going to be for everyone, but they certainly are for me. They're going in my collection, and I am super happy with them. I have popped the links to Round Code Code Cover Next skins with 1/6 kit, V.Collectibles, Vince, and Rodman in the description below. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.